In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about 5 young players who I think could break out next season and turn into NHL stars. First up is Adrian Kempe of the Los Angeles Kings. He was drafted in the first round, 29th overall, back in the 2014 NHL draft, and after playing his first 3 seasons in the American Hockey League, he's finally broke on into a full-time NHL role with the Los Angeles Kings, playing in 81 games this previous season, putting up a total of 37 points, and in my opinion, Kempe is really a huge part to the future of the Los Angeles Kings organization. And this team, I mean, it's no secret they are getting up there in age, and in my opinion, it's kind of up in the air on how many good seasons and how much longer this team is going to be a playoff contender. And if they do decide to put more of the faith in the youth in the Los Angeles Kings organization, I really could see Adrian Kempe breaking on and becoming the superstar on this team and being a guy who could consistently put up 60 to 70 points for the Los Angeles Kings while still playing a great two-way game. He's shown some very good signs in the past 2 seasons, playing in a total of 106 games. He didn't do anything in the 4 playoff games for the LA Kings, but I mean, not many people on the Kings did during those 4 games, getting swept by the Vegas Golden Knights. But I think now that the LA Kings are kind of moving in a position where they could really let the young players take over the future of this team, I think we could really see Adrian Kempe have a breakout season next year. Next up is Pavel Buchnevich of the New York Rangers. He was drafted in the 3rd round, 75th overall, back in the 2013 NHL draft, and finally coming over from the KHL last season, he played in 41 games for the Rangers, putting up 20 points, and this previous season in 74 games, he put up 43 points for a total of 63 points so far. Throughout his NHL career, he's only played in 5 playoff games and has just 1 assist to show for it, but that's obvious and to be expected from a young talent, and he's kind of in the same boat as Adrian Kempe in my opinion, as the New York Rangers are kind of moving in a position where the youth are going to take over this team, and now with Rick Nash being gone and Buchnevich being there with a full season without Rick Nash, he really could be the prime goal scorer for this team. In my opinion, he kind of reminds me of a Rick Nash. He's a big winger, he drives to the net and uses his size well, he has a fantastic shot, and he really is a guy who I could see leading the New York Rangers in goals next season. They're not really too much in a rebuilding state, it's more of a retooling in my opinion, as they still do have a lot of fantastic players over there in New York, but I really do think Buchnevich is an underrated player that not many people talk about when they talk about the future of the New York Rangers. Next up is Max Domi, and this one is kind of a wild card and it could either go very good or very bad. He was drafted in the 1st round, 12th overall by the Arizona Coyotes, well, Phoenix Coyotes at the time, back in the 2013 NHL draft. And as we all know, a couple of days ago, he was sent to the Montreal Canadiens in a straight up 1-for-1 deal with Alex Galchenyuk, and a lot of people have mixed emotions about this trade, but what people don't expect is that Max Domi could have a breakout season. Sometimes all it takes is a fresh start for a player to really realize his full potential, and he just wasn't playing all that particularly well in the Arizona Coyotes organization the past 2 seasons, and a trade 1-for-1, and now him kind of being relied on as the guy along with Jonathan Drouin. I feel like maybe those guys can put up a good number of points together, and obviously the Montreal Canadiens do still have Brendan Gallagher. The team is kind of going in a rebuilding way, but that just means a lot of ice time for Max Domi, power play time, maybe even killing some penalties, so I think he's going to get all the opportunity in the world to have the best season of his career yet. It's just a matter of if he's going to be able to do it, and if he's going to be able to handle the pressure of playing in an organization like Montreal. Next is Andre Cachet of the Anaheim Ducks. He was drafted in the 7th round, 205th overall, back in the 2014 NHL draft, and in a couple of years, if I ever make another video on the biggest draft steals somewhere down the road, we could definitely see this guy a part of that list. He played for the San Diego Gulls from the 2015-16 season to the 2016-17 season, where he played 53 games for the Anaheim Ducks, putting up 15 points, and in this previous year, he played in 66 games and had 20 goals and 18 assists for a total of 38 points, so he's put up 53 points in 119 games played so far, and 2 goals in 13 playoff games. And Cachet is a guy who's very important for the Anaheim Ducks' future, but when you hear people talk about the future of the Ducks, all you hear is Sam Steele, Rickard Rakell, Troy Terry, and guys like that. But in my opinion, he really is a huge part of the future of this team, and getting him with a 7th round pick, the Anaheim Ducks have to be ecstatic with having him right now, as he's only 22 years old and putting up 20 goals in 66 games. This guy really has the potential to be a future 30 goal scorer for the Anaheim Ducks, and we might see that as soon as next year. And lastly, the final player I wanted to talk about, Dmitri Orlov of the Washington Capitals. He was drafted in the 2nd round, 55th overall, back in the 2009 NHL draft, and this is a guy who doesn't get talked about a lot on a Washington Capitals team loaded with superstars, but he really is a vital piece to their team and was a huge part of them winning the Stanley Cup. He's played in 365 games so far throughout his career and put up 30 goals and 94 assists for a total of 124 points, his career high in goals, with 10 coming in this previous season. He's played in 48 playoff games and has a total of 12 points. And if the Washington Capitals aren't able to bring back John Carlson, you can bet Dmitri Orlov is going to log the most ice time on this team, get a lot of power play minutes, and get a lot of shots, and his point total is going to skyrocket in my opinion. And let's face it, the Washington Capitals weren't even able to bring back their Stanley Cup winning head coach Barry Trotz, so it's going to be very interesting to see if they are going to be able to bring back John Carlson, who is their number 1 defenseman. Carlson led the league in points by defenseman, and if they can't, you can bet Dmitri Orlov is going to have a lot of points next season for the Washington Capitals. So that is going to wrap up the video. I know there are plenty of guys in the NHL who could potentially break out into stars, but these are just 5 I picked out and wanted to talk a little bit about, so make sure to let me know down in the comment section who you guys think are some potential breakout candidates for next season. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like on it and subscribe to the channel for daily NHL content, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.